Good evening and welcome to the Diabear Adventuring Company. We are back with episode 4 of the Stolen Cities. For those of you just joining us, we have Tim playing as Ralocan. No, Tim playing as Cross. I'm the worst. Christian playing as Ralocan.
Best believe it.
Lucas playing as Jason. And Maddie playing as Vanillin. My name is Alex, and I will be your DM for this evening. And last time on the Stolen Cities, we found our adventurers heading north towards the heights. On their way, they were accosted by some thugs working for a local slumlord named Jason Apollo. And found themselves not necessarily captured, but being escorted to his quarters, known as Apollo Hall. I'm sorry, Manny. There was a face. In any case.
I'm telling you, man. What kind of self-centered asshole names the hall after himself?
I like how everybody did it. We're out here in these streets, running through the six with my woes. You know how that should go. This place is a surprisingly well-outfitted, it almost looks like a contemporary nightclub. There's tables and chairs, and there's a stage, and on that stage is a man playing a harp. It looks extremely old. And somebody has gone to a great deal of time and energy restoring and repairing this thing to get it back into proper playing condition. And it plays rather beautifully. You would probably be moved by it if it weren't for the several thugs holding crossbows towards your heads. You can count at least a good 24 guys inside this place. Like so. What brings a hardy party like you into my domain?
Your men?
Way I heard it, you were headed into the heights regardless.
The way I heard it, you don't control the heights.
Not the heights, just the land in between. Would you prefer having everything up there come crashing down on your, where are you from, Madangard?
I'm from the heights.
Ah, homesick, huh?
That's not what I said.
So I hear you killed/accosted a couple of my, toll workers, let's call them.
You mean your highway robbers?
Ain't no highway been around here in a quite a long time ago. And regardless, way I hear it, you got a trinket on your person, enough to pay your toll several thousand times over. And that right, little man? And he kind of nods over to you, Jason.
I am wanted for 5,000 gold pieces.
Ralacan audibly face palms. You don't hear the, as you normally would with a face palm, you hear the.
A little louder for the people in the back.
Sorry, did that actually hurt your ears?
Not you.
Stood. I am wanted for 5,000 gold pieces.
Oh, God.
See,
Jason, you realize how difficult you make it sneaking through places, right?
I do apologize.
I know.
I will do better next time.
see, the Venolin counter needs to be changed from times Venolin has regretted life to Venolin face palms.
Oh, boy. So how does he respond to that?
Yep.
So, long story short, I need a reason why I don't just take your little buddy from you and send you on your merry way.
Because you're a nice person, you don't want to remove us from our very nice and loving compatriot over here.
There is a general snickering from the crowd. Look, just like, he doesn't even respond. He just kind of like turns his head to the side, like. And there is a collective kind of like low laughter coming from the 24 thugs in here.
Because I will make life very difficult for those who take me away from my tasks.
Well,
I
you're
didn't
some
say that.
kind of war machine or something or other.
Did, Alex, did my, blueprint have any sort of, like, serial number or, like a model name other than just, like, Model 8?
There was a model name, however, it was redacted, along with several other bits of information. You only know that you are model number 8.
For
Sorry,
is,
repeat that.
well, I was built for functionality not found. I am searching for that functionality. However, currently, I am here to find what is left of me and assist my partners here.
Ah, so you're looking for Raph. He took a job down there. I take it that was cleaning you up, eh?
What you mean cleaning us up? Let the people with the boat.
Nah. I got a toll from a couple of cleanup guys who were headed down south for some cleanup work a couple weeks ago. That was you, wasn't it?
Do I recall the situation?
I think he's talking to Jason.
Venolin, from context clues, you're pretty sure he's referring to the 2 people that the broker hired to come to Madengard and help clean up after Jason's crash landing.
Sorry, this is just out of character. Is this like regarding the 2 pirates that were like?
No. This
Okay,
is regarding the guys that the broker hired to like help fix up the ceiling of Madengard after you crash landed.
Gotcha.
Remember, like the only pieces that the police department didn't take, they took.
Okay.
So it looks like Raph and them left you with a couple screws loose. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it seems to be like it. Some screws are loose, even though they seem to be as tight as they possibly can. but I have room for more.
Lord, give me strength.
Hey, y'all. He kind of like nods to you two, Relican and Cross. Y'all don't look like nothing from around here.
Nope. Name's Route from Batterport. And I'm holding up the ornithological encyclopedia that you've so graciously bequeathed to Rao.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for this goddamn. I'm allowed to curse here, right? Okay, thank God. This fuckface known as Kingfisher. Damn right!
Sorry, I just realized my mic was muted on OBS. Excuse him. He's got a thing about birds.
Damn right!
And
Well, I ain't know jack shit about birds, but I know where Raph's set up. Raph's set up around. Yeah, I know where it is. So, back to business. Why should I not just casually reappropriate your buddy here and give him over to the nice individuals offering such a copious amount of money?
because the nice individuals you refer to are vampires who will probably not like that they're getting an incomplete robot.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, we hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Yeah, you
But-
don't think you're actually going to get all $5,000 if you bring Jason and missing pieces, do you?
Yeah, fuck that. You say vampires?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Uh-huh.
Vampire ain't been
Absolutely.
found in this place in 100 years. At least not a sentient one. We got
Yeah.
thralls and familiars in them around all the time, but never a, smart one.
Yeah, well, this one is very much alive. She's very much willing to kill you. And
She
I-
also had friends.
I rather doubt that despite the offer of $5,000 in gold pieces, that you're ever actually going to see that much money. You'll disappear conveniently.
Frankly, I was a bit less in it for the money and more in it for a trip to that glass tower. But
Why would you
I
want to
do
go to
see
the
it.
glass tower?
It's a beautiful place. I like beautiful things. It's said to be a trove for many of the different artifacts of the old world. Despite being a vampire, then. So, you're thinking I just let y'all walk out of here and get what you need to for your buddy?
I mean, we were hoping. I wasn't holding my breath. But we were hoping.
Unless there's something else we can do for you.
Finally, a proper damn businessman.
You opened up by threatening us.
I opened up by threatening to take your buddy.
I know what I said.
At no point have I ever threatened the lives of y'all.
Ral just looks at his foot and just like, hello, crossbow wound.
Did I shoot you in the foot?
I ain't
Oh,
got
you're-
the time nor the patience for semantics, so I'm just
For
gonna
example,
say
if I
no.
take you to the third floor of this building and push you out till you snap your neck, I am not killing you. That's a little thing called gravity.
I hate that you're not technically wrong, but the matter of the fact is he wouldn't have fallen if he hadn't been pushed.
Potato, potato.
Alright, look, as Cross so eloquently asked, what else could we do for you? And of course, you said it was significantly less animosity.
Let me see. You know what? I got something I've always wanted to get my hand. I ended up taking a meeting with that Baron over at the yards, and he had a particular artifact that I would absolutely love to have. If you could retrieve it for me, bring it for me here, I'd be happy to let y'all off the hook and perhaps even compensate you a bit for your troubles.
What artifact are you looking for?
It's a cannon of some kind.
A what?
Real small, compact like.
Something that would fit in your hand.
Something like that. Looked like something you'd hold with two hands, mostly because thing looked like a pack a punch. But it's the only one of its kind that I've seen. And I got plenty of blueprints for them and no way to make them. You grab that for me. Bring it to me right back here in my little theater here. I'll be happy to let y'all off the hook.
You want us to go steal you a weapon.
Sorry, a weapon.
I'm sorry, what else would you use a handheld cannon for?
You see this thing here? And he kind of like plucks a few strings on the harp and a nice little C chord. I like restoring ancient artifacts and relics of the old world. Something like that, in my opinion, ain't meant to be used. It's meant to be kept for posterity. It's a reminder of how beautiful this world was before, all went to shit and such like. Frankly, I think this Baron's probably just as much of an asshole as you think he is.
What's his name again?
Baron Tobin Hudson.
That's the leader of that band of pirates that are looking for Jason too.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, no lost love here.
Seems like we got ourselves a fine little enemy in my enemy.
Yes, but that doesn't make us friends.
Rather the devil we know than the devil we don't. And this fella don't look like no devil.
Anyways, and he kind of like jumps off the stage and walks up to meet you. He's in a very nice looking suit. He's got like a good like set of rings on.
Real
And,
Don outfit.
Yeah. And he reaches out his hand for a handshake.
I'm not going to shake it.
Well, of course not. It's morning.
Yeah.
That is going to be the running joke, and you started it.
It's great.
I'm okay with this. I am 2000% okay with this.
Alright. Fine. You want us to go steal you something to restore? We can do that. And then you'll let us go. Right?
Of course, why wouldn't I?
No harm. Because there's no law in
Let's
this.
not. You already know why.
There is such a thing as honor amongst thieves.
Not in my experience.
I don't know what thieves you've been in contact with, but I ain't one of them.
Right.
Give me
Anyway,
the thing, bring it here, you can go wherever you want to go.
deal.
And gesture of goodwill, I'll have one of my boys escort you through the rest of the labyrinth on a one-time thing.
Gesture of goodwill, or make sure we do the job.
More so, methinks we don't end up killing more of his crew by accident.
Man's got the right idea.
I like to think that if he wanted us dead, we would already be dead right now.
Exactly. No use killing a couple of hard-working, useful individuals.
Alright. Venolin will shake his hand.
And the moment you do, the rest of the guards lower their crossbows. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yo, BGs, get them out of here. And four of the guards kind of like come out single file and kind of like wait at the door to escort you guys out.
I'm sorry, did I just hear you call them the Bee Gees?
Are they just gonna continue to we're staying alive? Is there a November rain that we have to be worried about?
You should be dancing your ass out of here.
Again?
Best get a stepping.
Those are the BGs. That's Parliament. This is my right-hand man, Thelonious.
I'm sorry, did you say Parliament?
Parliament.
Mm-hmm.
This man's got good taste.
Yes, he does. Well, shall we?
Understood.
Mm-hmm. Let's go.
Indeed.
Thelonious kind of like tips his hat towards you guys as the BGs escort you out.
We're being escorted out by the Bee Gees. Next
Don't
thing
question
you know,
it, just go with it.
We're not dead. Let's just go with it.
Yep.
We're not dead.
We didn't die. We didn't get killed. We didn't have to fight Apollo and his musical troupe. We're fine.
Yet.
Yeah, let's get a couple levels before we come back and do that. Anyway.
Oh, man. Don't make me make character sheets for all of you. Don't make me make 70s funk groups in D&D.
You started
You're the
it! You
one-
What am I
called
going to
them
do
the
about
Bee
Earth,
Gees!
Wind, and Fire?
They're all
Earth, Wind, and Fire are
spellcasters!
3
Sorcerers.
different Ganassi, and they're all monks.
Now, see, I was gonna go with they were all warcasters with specific elements.
That works.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
any case, they escort you back to your carriage. They get in the carriage in front of you. And they escort you north to, like, the edge of their cordon. Their area of influence is significantly bigger than you expected it to be. However, their leaving actually puts you... Well, the exit from the cordon doesn't put you too far from your old home, Venolin. A lot of the areas here received very minimal damage from whatever cataclysm caused the center of the island to become such a wasteland. However, given the amount of time that has gone by since then, many of the buildings are in a perpetual state of decay as nature slowly begins to overtake them. the edges of the island are notorious for being extremely volatile, as nature constantly reclaims many of the collapsed buildings that sort of tower over and then immediately just collapse into the river below. Your home is not in that danger zone, but close to it. It's about a mile from the danger zone. You make your way upwards, and as you do so, you can see several different kind of like factions making their homes in the surrounding buildings. Many of them have like very uniform ways of wearing things, such that you know kind of like who rocks with who. Every so often you'll see hunting groups kind of like taking up watch or patrolling the streets to make sure that there are no night creatures that have decided to attack anybody. And eventually you find yourself reaching what you've always called Building 66. It is one of the most intact buildings left in the area. It is quite large, and aside from some structural damage on like the far western edge of the building is pretty much intact. The door is unlocked, and as you make your way through, the antechamber before the set of stairs that lead up is just as empty and hollow as you remember it being. There is a chill echo as each of your collective steps reverberates through it. And you can see the doors to several sort of old dumbwaiter systems that unfortunately ran on electricity, so they haven't worked in some time. Though theoretically, if you were able to get electricity connected to the building again, you might be able to get those to work. However, there are 2 sets of stairs that you can use to head up.
And just to be clear, this was my old home.
Yes. You kind of like owned this building. And while sure, sometimes you would house some people on the lower levels, it was mostly yours. The upper floors were exclusively used by your family. There are 5 floors in total.
Well, gentlemen, welcome home.
This is a lovely place you have here.
Big.
Yep.
I can see why you left.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you're right. I can't see the dust in the ceiling.
It's not why I left.
Really? Climbing this must be a nightmare.
There's
I
3.
think it looked great.
There's 3 rooms. They're locked. Don't go in them.
Okay.
Understood.
Which normally I would say is a request. That's not a request.
Understandable.
Good.
And then she'll lead up towards the library, since that's what we were here for. I'm assuming there are still old bloodstains all through this hallway.
This hallway? Yes. It's the main hall. There are bloodstains in here. More often than not, you recall there being posted security guards here on a somewhat regular basis at night in case of night creature attacks. So this main hallway has seen a fair share of battles sort of send sounds echoing through this hollow antechamber. However, you head to the 2nd floor, which is where the library is. And it seems that there are people in here that have sort of taken this place up in your absence. Like, the first two rooms are where the library is. They look kind of like sequestered areas that have had the walls torn down to like make room for a larger area. Whereas the other 4 or 5 rooms on this floor seem to be all locked. Some of them have people standing in front of them, some of them don't. And there is sort of a man in glasses, kind of like poring over a book, sitting at the entrance to the library. Oh, guests. It's been quite a considerable while since we've had newcomers. What can I do you for?
We'd like to look through the library.
Of course, just a quick moment, please. And he kind of takes out what looks like a wooden stake and a small pocket flashlight.
Oh, this is going to be great.
If I can just get a quick look at the rest of it.
Understood.
Now, what you gonna do with that wooden stick there?
It depends on what I find with this, and he holds up the flashlight.
Right.
He kind of like walks up to each of you and kind of like shines the light very briefly into your eyes just to like check on you.
Cross makes a minor whimpering sound.
I'm sorry, did I just hear Cross makes an eye-opening sound?
I said Cross makes a mild whimpering sound.
Okay.
Looks like you're all You are markedly not human.
Oh, I am not.
However, you're not what we're looking for. By all means, enjoy your stay in the library.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
The library is very much just as you remember it. There's a significantly greater presence of people making sure nobody's messing anything up, but there is a massive collection of books just absolutely lining the walls, and it seems that tables have kind of been erected in certain areas to allow people to kind of like sit and read and things like that. It seems that in the time since this place has become sort of used by the public, they've kind of created some accommodations to account for that. So what is it exactly that you're looking for?
Any sort of information on Jason.
On Jason. Okay.
Or either previous models like Jason, care guides, instruction manuals, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Anything on automatons?
Yeah, because if it's gonna be anywhere that she knows of, it's gonna be in this library.
Mm-hmm.
Raul will also help out with automatons and stuff like that, but will also be keeping an eye out for fish and bird.
Oh, if you ask, she can direct you exactly where you'll find that information.
No. Just like, I'm trying to be helpful, but at the same time selfish.
Yeah, like I said, if you just ask, she will tell you where it is.
You may both roll me investigation checks. Venelin, you will have an advantage.
Cool.
Off to a great start. I rolled a 7. I'm looking for automaton, fish, and
I rolled an
bird.
11 with advantage.
Okay. Relican,
Mm-hmm.
you managed to find, like, a children's pop-up book of several different, like, aquatic life forms. It's a very well-drawn pop-up book. It's very pretty. On the back it says ages 4 and up.
I'm insulted, but I'm going to continue reading it because I am a man of commitment.
Venelin, you find several books on the history of automation and automatons in particular. And from what you've been able to find, you don't find anything that seems to delve into automatons that have their own sentience. Like, no book that you've come across contains anything pertaining to that. Most automatons that were made in the time that these books were published were made for the express purpose of, like, completing specific tasks or serving at the behest of an individual at their command. These automatons did not have free will. However, you do find one entry that suggests that some forms of magic utilized in conjunction with existing technologies could one day be used to give sentience to an automaton. Though the book expressly states that at time of being published, this has not happened or been possible.
About how old is the book?
Very old. Most of these books were published before the Cataclysm, so most of them are at least a couple hundred years old, but there's still very good insights into the history of the old one.
Okay. Well, that didn't tell me much. Well, it told me some, not a lot.
What did you find out?
That you shouldn't be able to have your own free will.
Oh,
But I think it might just be a case of these books are outdated. I mean, there's so much that could have happened since the book was published and, well, now. So I don't put too much stock into it. And it really doesn't tell us much about you specifically because these are older, more, I guess, primitive versions of you.
Understood. Jason is gonna, like, do one more, just one more scan. Like, his head kind of, like, pops up and, like, a red light shines around all the books to see if he can, like, scan the bookends, see if he can find anything regarding this. Just like a last-ditch effort to...
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 21.
You sort of, like, head to the back of the section that Venelin is in, and you find it doesn't even look like a book. It more looks like a whole bunch of papers held together with string. And there is like a bit of like leather backing on it, which is the only reason that you can read anything off its bookend. But it appears to be a journal of some kind, which doesn't belong in the text section.
Interesting. He will extend his arms and grab the journal and waddle on over to Venelin and kind of go through the pages, making sure she reads along with it.
Most of the pages are not in very good condition. Again, this book looks like it's been through a mill. It looks like somebody very like patchwork put this together. The papers aren't all the same size. Some of them are shorter than others. Some of them are written in bigger fonts than others. However, one thing that definitely gets your eye very quickly is a page that reads active models. Most of it is kind of in bad condition, but you find another one that reads Model 4.
Ooh.
It reads as follows. After a crude experience fighting alongside and repairing Model 3, Model 4 was developed to be repairs capable for any previous as well as any subsequent model. Its significantly larger frame allows it to store numerous spare parts within itself, including the spare extremities such as hands and feet. Later improvisation would also lead to the development of precepts, allowing Model 4 to also function as a weapons resupply unit.
That is what I have.
So it looks like they only have one of you going at a time. Maybe two, basically, as they're nearing the end of its lifespan. They'll get another one set up and ready to go.
Very, very interesting.
There is a second page that seems to be more of an in-concept thing at the time it was written. And it says, Concept Model 5, Vector. And the only two things that are written here are lightweight frame and the word flight with a question mark at the end of it.
Ooh. Ooh. That would make for an interesting and rather fun concept. Imagine if I could fly. I wonder if they kept that.
I guess we'll have to find the rest of your parts and find out.
The rest of the journal reads sort of like a set of memoirs detailing a man searching to find his brother. It says it talks about how he came from a place called the City of Angels, and that his brother left on some sort of quest to find peace, and never came back. And he, being a tinkerer whilst also being a hunter, decided he would go on a search for him.
Is there any notes of the name of this guy?
There are no notes of either of their names. They are simply referred to as the the writer is referred to in the book as Y, and his brother is referred to as V.
Got it. Whoever this Y fellow is, well, he has a lot more information about me. Quite possibly. We'll keep in backup memory so I can remember later. I certainly would like to find out more. And he'll just open up his little glove compartment and put the journal in.
That seems weird. My father wouldn't have let something that in disarray stay like that in his library. That must have been new.
Maybe its owner left it here?
Perhaps an organizational error.
Well, in the time since this place has been abandoned, the guy at the door kind of like interjects slightly. In the time this place has been abandoned, people have slowly been sort of adding works to this place. Essentially, anything they find that they know isn't here, they'll bring back and add to the collections. We've made quite a few, best I could say, of makeshift bookcases for newer works.
Well, I mean, I'm glad it's being used.
Are you familiar with this place?
You could say that. Is there a third floor to this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm assuming the family's rooms were on the third floor.
There are 5 floors in total to this building.
Okay.
Your family typically stuck to the 4th and 5th.
Okay.
Your quarters specifically were on the 4th.
Okay. You lot don't go higher than this floor, do you?
There are some people living on the 3rd floor, but the 4th is occasionally dangerous, so nobody goes up there.
Occasionally dangerous?
There were bloodstains and other such signs of a struggle found at the scene. Most people are deterred simply by that, but unfortunately the windows on that floor are also broken, which makes it difficult to prevent the occasional harpy or other flying night creature from getting in.
Of course.
Normally we'd have them fixed, but unfortunately scaffolding is something much of a rarity around these parts, since we can't always spare the men.
Of course.
Do you mean to go up there?
I don't see why not.
The thought had crossed my mind.
Well, it's early enough. It's not even noon yet, so you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Just keep on your toes, just in case. The darker areas tend to house some things that aren't always tended properly.
Of course.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
No problem. So, Raul will check his longbow just to make sure things is okie dokie with that, because it's gonna be a little difficult shooting down a narrow hallway in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Good thing I have dark vision.
Right?
This is
Okay.
It's actually the first time I've played a character with dark vision.
So I take it y'all are heading up there?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Oh,
It seems like a dangerous and terrible idea. Let's do it.
yeah.
All on board.
Certainty of death. Small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
I'ma kill it. You guys head up the next 2 flights of stairs up to the 4th floor. There are 7 rooms on this floor, to your memory, Venelin. Yours was... I believe yours was... Yeah, yours was 4B.
Well, I guess I will head in that direction.
Wonderful. You head about halfway down, and you kind of pass by the old dumbwaiter doors before you reach the door to your chambers, right on your left as you pass them. The door is unlocked, and your quarters are mostly unchanged. Aside from some things kind of like strewn about, and the sort of cool breeze from this high up and the windows being broken, most of the place is in rather good condition. There's still a table next to the door with some old books and trinkets on it. There's a nice little sort of lounge area on your right as you walk in. There's 2 couches and a set of very nice looking wooden shelves. It's a bit of a dining table right in the center where you'd sort of sit down and eat. It looks big enough to seat a good 4 to 6 people. And across from that is a door into what looks like a personal kitchen. And there are 2 rooms that could be used as bedrooms, but one served as your bedroom while another was kind of like where you do stuff. Sharpen knives, fix things, dissect vampires. I don't know what you did in here. Target practice. I don't fucking. And obviously, you have your own restroom in here too. this is bigger than just about any. Like, this place looks like it could seat an entire family, probably 2 whole families, if set apart right. But y'all were pretty well off. Like, for you, Ralakan, this is bigger than any private lodging you've ever had. So hearing that this is Venolin, this entire thing is Venolin's,
I want you to take a look at the face that I have right now.
Are you quite alright, Relicat?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention I'm a noble?
They made brooms this big?
You realize you're standing in my home, right? My family owned this entire building.
Air 404 fish face does not compute. Please restart this line.
My brother's room is down the hall. My father's were upstairs.
Ralakan is having a hard time processing all of this. He does not know what to do with this information.
While we are currently in your house, would you like me to help clean the house?
No.
Understood.
We won't be staying long enough to make it worth it. I probably would have taken down any family portraits and then hid them.
I'm gonna say that you had a couple you had a couple loose floorboards sort of strewn about the place. Like one under the couch, one under a bookshelf in your workspace, a larger one under your bed.
Okay. I'm going to go to each one.
Mm-hmm.
The one in my workspace probably has a selection of fine knives. And I say fine knives, but I mean like these are stiletto daggers that are of good quality, clearly not Venolin's, not because she doesn't take care of them, but because they are, they actually have the owner's name engraved in them.
Mm-hmm.
The one under her bookshelf probably has a selection of books that she'd stashed there specifically because they were her father's.
Mm-hmm.
So those are 3 spell books.
You go to investigate each of these sort of hidden floorboards, and you do find the stuff there. The spell books are all there, perfectly intact, don't look like they've been messed with. The knives also are perfectly fine. However, as you head to your bedroom, you find that the floorboard underneath it has been clawed off. And there is something there that was missing. Or rather, something is missing that was there. You distinctly recall having a particularly rare weapon that was hidden under your bed, presumably for emergencies, that somebody seems to have found. And it was a single silver dagger. Your fathers were some pragmatic individuals, despite their levity. And in a world where vampires are kind of the most dangerous thing you could possibly come across, it's pretty nice to have a silver dagger.
Yep.
And it is markedly unhere. The rest of the stuff you had down there is still there, though it has collected a bit of dust since the floorboard was taken off.
Oh. You guys hear some very creative and angry swearing coming from her bedroom.
I didn't do it.
Are you
no.
okay?
Is there anything I can help you with, Miss Federle?
Someone took my dagger.
Anything special about this one?
Shall I try to find them?
It's silver.
Oh. Yeah, no, that'll make anyone upset.
Hmm.
It was the first. It was the first blade my father ever gave me. And it's gone.
May I? And Raoul offer to look around and see if he can't find any tracks and see what happened.
Roll me a hot and spicy investigation check.
That is a 17.
Okay. You sort of like examine the thing. You kind of like push the bed a bit aside so that you can get to the floorboard properly.
Right.
And you can see some you can see some claw marks around where the floorboard was removed, as well as some blood stains that look markedly unhuman. You're pretty sure some creature tried to pick up the dagger and was burned and or cut by it while trying to pick it up.
So, whoever done pilfered your precious dagger doesn't want people to have it because it hurts them, possibly, perhaps.
Well, that could mean.
So they came in, methinks, from the bottom up, found your dagger, touched it, hurt themselves with it, cursed themselves out for touching the dagger made of silver, and then used something else to pick it up for them. Something or someone else.
Sorry, I'm writing with a felt tip pen and I accidentally pressed down too hard and I broke the tip of the pen.
Oh no!
No!
Yeah, rip indeed. Okay, well, I mean, that's good to know, I guess.
So whoever took your dagger is working with someone that has claws. You can rule that out. Whoever has your dagger has it has or works with big meaty claws.
Good to know. Because you see, they've taken something from me. And while I'm okay with strangers in my house, these floors, you don't take things from these floors.
Not without express permission, I'm assuming.
You got it.
Could there possibly be a chance that whatever took the dagger might still be around here?
I mean, anything's possible.
I'll like to take another look at the blood to see if I can see if it's not like I'm just gonna poke at the blood, see if it's flaky or still.
It's very much caked in. It's old.
Nah, they're nowhere near.
That or just had no reason to come back.
Possibly, mayhaps.
Alright, I've got a couple other hidey holes. Clearly they found this, so not safe here. I better take the rest of this with me. I'm gonna take the stilettos
Mm-hmm.
and the 3 spell books
Wonderful.
and put them in my bag.
Okie dokie.
And then I'm gonna open my little side table and pull out a small little painted portrait
Mm-hmm.
of a family of 4. And then that's just gonna go in the bag as well. I don't even look at it. I don't look at it. I don't give anybody in the party a chance to look at it. I pull it out and it gets shoved in the bag.
Big awe energy.
Alright. Couple more rooms to check and then we'll head out.
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna head to my brother's room, which would have been on this floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I am looking for anything of his that might have been still useful. He was a physical kind of fighter, so
Mm-hmm.
so weapons, maybe some of his silvered weapons are still around, because he also would have been gifted one at least. But he's more on par with fighting with weapons like Jason does
Mm-hmm.
than anything light or finesse oriented like mine. Which is kind of sort of why I'm mad mine's gone.
You sort of root through his room for a while. And it looks cleaner. It looks like somebody boarded the windows closed at some point. Because significantly fewer things are strewn about in this room than in yours. The bed looks made, though definitely not slept in a very long time. And there are even sort of wires running around, which suggest that somebody may have tried to set up some crude electricity coming through here at some point. However, none of the... You find an assortment of weapons lying around. You find a couple of long swords. You find a rapier. You find a single battle axe, though its handle is broken. And you find a couple of sets of leather armor. Some of them are fully intact. There's one that seems to have been like in the process of being like sewn together. However, none of the weapons you find are silver.
That's just unfortunate. Well, I was hoping for a little bit of luck, and no luck to be had. Well, that being said. There's only one floor left.
You guys head to the 5th floor, and there is blood everywhere. It's on the walls, it's on the floor, it's on the ceiling. It's
on the brand new shea carpeting.
It's
dear.
blood all the way down. There are 4 rooms on this floor. One of which were your father's sleeping quarters. 2 of which were their own separate workspaces. And the 4th being a sort of like private storage area where they held, dangerous shit.
I think we can use a little dangerous shit.
Where are you going first?
Storage room.
Cool, great. You head to the storage room, and it's locked.
So, remember those 3 locked rooms I told you not to go into?
Is this one of them?
Oh, yeah.
Understood.
You might want to step back.
Does the Ralda does the very visible? It's like, nope, and backs away.
Cross will step back.
She's going to go ahead.
Oh, yeah, Jason just kind of slides on back.
Given the fact that she knows that this is likely trapped, and when I say likely, she knows for sure it's trapped. 'Cause she's the one who trapped it. So unless somebody came up and tampered with it, I should be able to open it.
Mm-hmm. So, you sort of like put your hand underneath the door right next to where the hinge is and kind of like lean up, undoing a knot. Presumably for a tripwire that would have done some very bad shit. And from there, it is completely fine for you to, pick the lock. Unless you have the key.
Yes, I would have the key.
Okay. You put the key through, and you're about to, like, just push through the door with your shoulder when it stops. And there are 2 more locks on this door. They are chain locks on the inside. The metal looks significantly newer than what was used to make the door. And you specifically do not remember there being chain locks on this door before. Regardless, even if they were, a chain lock being on this door would mean that somebody is inside to disengage it. And the moment, like, the door stops against the chain, you can hear a loud clattering from the back of the room.
Ral has his hand on the ready, just does not have an arrow knocked. He's just like,
Okay. Jason,
Would you like? Yes, Venolin.
if you would be so kind as to kick the door in.
Absolutely. Yep. And he is going to, well, maybe not so much kicking the door down because he still has little legs, but he's certainly going to do his best to ram right into it.
Mm-hmm.
I assume that's going to be a strength check
Mm-hmm.
or an athletics or just strength.
Give me strength.
Gotcha.
You don't really have a lot of room to run at this door.
Oh, it was almost a 17, but now it's a 6.
Red.
Unfortunate.
You slam in, and your head kind of like dents into the door,
F.
which kind of like gets you to. But you do not break down the door.
Would you like me to try?
That is unfortunate.
Be my guest. Get the door down. There's somebody in there.
Ral will also help out.
Cross will crack his knuckles. Feel up the door just a little bit, just kind of. And
As you're doing so, you can hear a breaking of glass coming from the back.
I rolled a 16 on strength.
Mm-hmm. And cross.
that is a total of a 20.
Beautiful. Together, the both of you sort of put together a nice double punch that manages to not break down the door, but break the chain off of the lock. Sort of like setting the door swinging open and slamming into the side wall. There are significantly more shelves in here than you remember there being, Venolin. And they are lined with stuff. Some are potions, some are old weapons, some are journals. You even find one with what looks like a couple of sticks of dynamite.
Okay, no fire allowed.
However, as you rush to the back to see what the sound of broken glass was, you can see that there is a very long rope tied to the end of the window, to presumably to be used as a tow cable. And as you're getting there, you can see somebody getting to the bottom and running away.
Would you like for me to jump after them?
I kind of put my hand on Jason.
This is the 5th floor of a building. A jump would be 5 stories, about 60 feet.
He still asks.
Let me handle this one, Jay. If with your leave, milady. And as he looks towards Venolin.
Go ahead.
Alright, Ralph glides after him. Because I have manta ray wings.
No, I gotcha. So,
Did you just call yourself Ralph?
Ral.
Ralph, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely heard Ralph. And I was
No, if I'm gonna fuck up my name like that, I'm gonna call myself Rolf, and I'm just gonna yell Rolf obscenities from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I promise.
You dare mock the son of a fisherman?
Did he just jump out the window?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Was he wearing a parachute?
No. No, he was not.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just gonna glide over and I have.
Okay.
I can move 2 feet every horizontally every 1 feet I descend.
Cool. Great. So, oh, that's beautiful, actually. Okay, so you can roll me an acrobatics check, while the rest of you can roll me an investigation to look through this place.
Okay.
Here we go. Acrobatics. That is a. Show me the number. That is a 20. Not natural.
And my investigation is a natural 20.
And there we go. There you go. You got your
There, I
first
finally
crit.
got it.
Yep. 17 on investigation for me.
Mm-hmm.
19 on investigation from me.
Okay.
The party splits up, much to the DM's chagrin. But I don't think he's ever had to deal with a party member willingly jumping out to fly. I don't know.
No,
I haven't.
no.
No.
And I'm not a bird. Shove it.
Don't worry. Don't worry. When
You've
you join
left-
us back up, my dude. When you join us back up.
You've left Cross rather confused though, mostly because he doesn't know that you can glide.
Okay.
To be fair,
Venolin.
nobody else did.
Venolin, your investigation kind of gravitates toward this sort of work desk at the far end, kind of opposite the window that he jumped out of. And there are a series of schematics here that seem to depict the last bridge. Like, they seem to be very meticulously drawn outlines of the last bridge, particularly its supports and structural integrity. There are similar outlines and schematics for what looks like the glass tower. You found the box with the sticks of dynamite on the shelf next to this desk.
Somebody's looking to blow up the glass tower?
And possibly the bridge? Oh,
Cross, your search gravitates towards the sort of like back of the room, kind of like on the shelf near the door where you guys entered, where there are a lot of like different potions and beakers and liquids and stuff. And several of them smell like blood. Several of them smell rather sweet, like something you could probably drink. Several of them smell extremely rank, but one of them has a very familiar sort of foresty smell, like pine trees.
I found the pine sol.
Don't worry, it's not pine sol. Yeah, no, I can't even have you roll me a history check, you fucking amnesiac. You have no idea what this is, but as it like wanders up your nostrils, you get kind of like that like menthol feeling where like your sinuses clear and you're just like kind of focused.
Huh.
Jason, you find kind of like a big cork board. It's like one of those nice little conspiracy boards that everybody loves.
Oh, fun.
And the thing that draws you to it is the fact that your wanted poster is on it.
Oh, good.
And it seems to be in connection to two figures at the center of the board. And they aren't really drawings, more just like outlines with the words Alzan and Cassidy on them.
Mm-hmm.
They are depicted next to the glass tower with a sort of like a post-it kind of thing saying, "Did they come from here?"
Ah.
And there's a lot of questions on it. Things like, how old are they? And why do the rest of the vampires not like them?
Ooh.
There's vampire discrimination.
There are also several pictures of like vampire thralls and familiars and things like that, with a single note that says consent versus non-consent with question marks on it.
Hmm.
Real quick aside, Maddie, those are fucking dope.
Right?
Mhm.
Does any of this look like my father's is writing?
Not one bit of it.
Is there a tinfoil hat lying around?
No.
They seem to have a lot of questions about the two folks who, well, not me.
Okay. Back to Ralakan. Ralakan, you manage to glide for a bit, and the moment you get ahead of him as he's like trying to round the corner, you kind of like dive bomb downwards, only opening like a couple of feet before the ground and landing right in front of him. And he kind of just like gets real startled, tries to back up, trips, and falls on his ass.
I will have my bow aimed right at him and an arrow at the ready and say, "Now, what were you doing in that there room, sir?"
Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't kill me!
I won't if you talk.
I've been using it as a workspace. Okay? Nobody goes up there, nobody bothers me. I fix the windows.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have any idea who you were using that room for? Who that room belonged to?
Hell no, I came up here, found a whole place filled with good shit to use.
Well, listen, I won't kill you. And you have my word, good sir. I will need to bring you back to the lady of the place. You did kind of... Hold on.
Quick, run away while he's answering the phone.
Another fucking spam caller.
Man, I
You gotta
just
love
want
it.
to talk to you about your car insurance policy, man.
What car? What vehicle? Mr. Beast doesn't film in New York. I can't get a car from him.
Dude, your ducts need to be cleaned. They need it.
Okay. I have won 10 cruises in the past month.
Patience!
Okay,
Nice!
okay. Back to game. It's like, owns the place. Somebody owns the place?
I mean, it's a big building full of cool goodies. Of course, someone would own the place. Come along quietly, and I'll make sure that you get away with at worst a bruise.
He kind of puts his hands up. From his hands, you can tell that he is definitely a tinkerer of some kind. You can tell that he's done a lot of like menial labor. He's a pretty muscular dude, despite not being too tall. And he seems to have like a very large pack on his back full of stuff.
All right. And I kind of like point back to the tower, just the building tower, place where I left the party. Location where the other people in this fine game are. And I just tell him, by all means, good sir. By the way, name's Ral.
Raphael. My friends call me Raph.
Pleasure to meet you, Raph.
Looks down at notes.
This is gonna get confusing.
Oh man, frantic note turning. Okay. Y'all kind of gather from your investigation that you're pretty sure whoever was in here was going through on some kind of plot to potentially remove a building. There are no like silvered weapons here. However, Venelin, as you're going through, you can find several vials and beakers filled with blood. Many of which smell like there's something in there that isn't blood mixed in with the actual blood. And after about 5 or 10 minutes, you hear the two pairs of steps coming up. As Ral and Raph get upstairs to the room. Ral kind of shoves them in the door.
Very gently. I'm a man of my word.
You promised you'd give him a bruise at most, so here's the bruise.
At worst. At worst, I'd give him a bruise. And I wouldn't harm him, period.
So you kind of like gently bring him through the door.
So I found a tinkerer. His name's Raphael. It's an alright lad. Just didn't actually know you existed then.
Yeah, my friends call me Raph, but you own this place, lady.
I did. Kind of hard to upkeep it by yourself. Kind of hard to protect it by yourself too, but that's besides the point.
I ain't really had that problem since the other people started moving in here.
So, you're the squatter, then.
I ain't know nobody was living up here, so I guess, yeah, you could call me that.
Okay. Where is all of my father's stuff?
I found this place ransacked. I filled it up with most of the stuff. A couple of these weapons were still here, but none of them anything super crazy. All these vials I put here myself. Sticks of dynamite I had to make from scratch. It's real hard to find that stuff around here. But did what I could with what I had.
Okay. So, question.
Hmm.
Are you planning on blowing up the glass tower?
Oh, you saw that. Um,
Oh, it's kinda hard not to.
something like that. Um,
Look,
no-
put you at ease. We're friends of the broker.
you are y'all from Madangard?
Yes.
Indeed.
And he kind of like walks over and sits at the chair of his work desk. Okay. Hmm. That I bet by now you know about that cat Alzin, right?
We've heard some things.
Yeah, we are still learning about him.
He turned my sister, Rachel. She was just as good at me, better than me in a lot of cases. But they did something weird. They tortured her for a while before turning her. And I think these vampires, they need to I think vampires need to give up willingly. That's what the thing on the board there is for with the familiars and such. If I know this sounds real crazy, but I think if the mind rejects the whole turning thing, it causes it to break or something like that, and that's how you get
Hmm.
the thralls and the familiars and the disfigured looking ones. I don't see any other reason they would have tortured her for as long as they did before turning her. If they wanted to turn her, they could have turned her right out.
Very interesting. Now, if I may ask, I did read that you have some theories that potentially Alzim and Cassidy are not very well liked in the Green Tower. Glass Tower, my bad.
The I've done some investigating near the bridge. It's a big stronghold for those guys, and they don't like it. I hear a lot of them talking bad about him, telling them not to let him crow, so this other stuff.
So these two are vilified even by vampiric standards. These two want me. Well, that's upsetting.
Boss is just sitting in the corner, just kind of staring at the bottle, and just keeps sniffing it.
That-
Don't drink none of that.
Yep.
That's vampire poison.
Vampire poison. What did you put in it?
He goes into his desk and kind of like rattles through it for a moment before tossing you an empty bottle of what looks like what used to be a bottle of colloidal silver, which is like a liquefied silver that he seems to have laced the blood with.
You're poisoning the blood with silver.
Ooh,
This guy's smart.
very ingenious.
That's not gonna
We're-
kill them.
Hurts. Bad. I tested on the thralls. It at least hurts them. Maybe doesn't kill them, but does something. The smart ones are smart.
Sorry, you were gonna say something, Tim?
No, I was just saying that this one smells nice.
Yeah, that's a sap that I ended up taking from Columbus Park. Not sure what to call it, but anytime you kind of like sniff it or drink it or anything like that, keeps you nice and focused. It's good for staying up long hours.
So you basically created something that allows you to act like an elf despite not being an elf.
Something like that, I guess.
You created an anti-fatigue potion. God, my father would have killed for that.
Fatigue. That's a nice word. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
How many of those do you got?
I got enough for a good half dozen doses before I gotta go back to the park.
And you said this place was ransacked when you got here?
Mm-hmm. There was some broken weapons. I tried to smelt them down, but didn't really have the requisite power to kind of, get everything working up here.
Where did you get the silver?
You can trade for a lot of stuff around here, but the silver is particularly rare. I did a job for a couple of boys over in the yards a while back, and they gave it to me in case I ran into any vampires.
So you didn't get it from the house? Okay. Well, sorry about
If
the
there
door.
was anything silver in this place, it's gone. I don't know who took it.
Sorry about the door. But when I encounter a locked room that shouldn't be locked from the inside, I get suspicious.
Yeah, no, I'll put that up just in case any of the common folk downstairs decide to get any bright ideas about coming up. Hang on. You're that robot fella, ain't you?
Indeed. I am the one on your corkboard.
Ral, to be fair, this time it's fine.
I know.
Do you know how badly this asshole wants you? And he kind of like points up at the picture of Elzen.
5,000 gold pieces worth.
Here, hang on a second. He kind of like runs to the far corner of the room. And he comes in with this very large kind of like sphere, it looks like. And he's kind of like holding it in both hands, like it's very, very heavy. And kind of like lifts it up and like just like slams it onto his desk. You hold that.
Understood. What is it, if I may ask?
So, I took a job in Madingar about 2-3 weeks ago, cleaning up some big old mess that I can only assume, given everything that's been going on, something you did.
Well, I fell into there, yes.
Well, that was one of many pieces that were recovered from the wreckage.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do much with the rest of them, but this thing, anybody I came across offered me a lot of money for this thing. So
Wonderful.
I can only assume it's something important. But
Jason's eye lenses kind of like extend and detract, and tries to recall if he saw that in the blueprints at all.
you did not see it in the blueprints. However, your HUD identifies this as a dense chunk of pure silver.
Oh. Ah. Silver. I
You're
wonder.
pretty sure that the sort of heating system housed in your chest can be used to maybe not smelt the entire thing, but at least use it in small quantities.
Ooh. Well, he kind of opens his chassis up, sees if he can.
Sees if he can just jam it in there.
The moment it enters, you can feel a series of clamps sort of wrap around it and begin to heat up a bit. As your chassis kind of closes back up.
Yeah. I wonder. He tries to see if he can make an axe with it.
You sort of do the thing, you think axe, and you can feel your chest start to get like really, really freaking hot. Like steam starts coming out of like the little vents in your shoulders. And it takes a little bit longer, but eventually, yes, a handle pops out, you pull it out, and the axe is mostly normal, yet with a very thin layer of silver coating the blade.
Oh. Ah. A silver-lined axe blade. Wonderful. Would any of you like any silver weapons? I can make daggers, long swords, and axes.
I was gonna say it'd be nice to have silver arrows, but that'd be a huge waste.
Oh, and I can also make spears. They're like larger arrows.
Pardon me for asking, sir, but you said you found this sap in the forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Could you perchance tell us where?
Found it near the, I think it was near the southwest. Like, just around where that statue used to be. And as he describes it, it sounds almost identical to the place where you guys found Cross. As you hear his description of the place Cross, you start to feel that shivering along your collarbone to the back of your neck again. And the moment you put your hand there, it's gone.
As he's sort of getting that sensation, Cross kind of looks a little uncomfortable, just kind of like his head twitches slightly before he kind of like reaches up again and just seems to sort of relax and calm down.
Are you quite okay, Cross? You seem to have a cold spot on the back of your neck again.
Yeah, I'm fine. Maybe there's a clue to what happened to me over there?
Might be worth it to check it out.
It's also on the way back to Madangard or wherever you guys end up going later. So,
Oh, I don't think we're going back to Madangard.
I don't know if we can properly disguise Jason.
Put a helmet on me, a big old beard.
unfortunately, of all his many presets, he is not the T-1000.
Is the phony baloney mustache company still open?
The last party city on Earth.
Where would geographically, where do you think the last party city on Earth would be?
Montana.
In
Vampires
Alaska,
don't give a fuck about Montana.
Understandable.
I would say in Alaska, right across the street from that last Blockbuster.
Damn.
Are any of those even still open?
Yeah, the last Blockbuster is still open. It's kind of like a
Still open.
museum.
Alaska has some of the longest nights on Earth. So the vampires would definitely be there. It'd be like Alaska would be the vampires like Carnival in Spain would be to us.
I still think that Blockbuster would be open.
Let's be honest, the world's gonna end and that Blockbuster will still be open.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just how it's gotta be.
It's like the Twinkie factory in Natick. I have grown to hate Family Guy. I will never not appreciate that joke.
Can we just
It's okay, man.
can we derail our campaign into Zombieland and just go on a quest to find Twinkies?
Never know. I don't want more Twinkies. I'm tired of them.
Honestly,
Too many Twinkies.
I wouldn't mind them so much if they didn't taste so much like processed sugar.
It
As
is
someone
processed sugar.
I know it, but like there are some where like the flavoring that they put in, you can't really tell that it's just processed sugar. Twinkies literally taste like nothing but processed sugar.
it's my kind of sugar.
I hate it. It makes me feel
Probably,
fat.
it's probably the new recipe.
I don't care what it is. It still makes me feel fat. Anyway, enough about Twinkies because I don't even know if Twinkies are still around in this particular world.
They are.
Oh God.
Ralakan is so thoroughly convinced
You cannot kill it.
Just like Rawakan has the only roll of duct tape in existence.
Ralakan's got the only one of several small knickknacks. He's got like the last fidget spinner on the island.
For the record, fidget spinners are great.
Oh no, they are. I love them. I have one myself if I can find it anywhere.
IRL, I have never owned a fidget spinner.
We are derailing again.
Mm-hmm.
Focusing back up.
Anyhow, well, thank you for the information. Sorry for breaking down the door again.
I'll see myself out. I'll try not to be in your hair or anything like that.
We're not staying very long. You can keep working here. It's fine. Just try to respect the place.
Do my best. I mean, trying to get some electricity up and running on the 4th floor. I don't know if you saw.
I did, although running it through Jarnik's room was probably not your brightest idea. Room 4B. No, 4B is my room. 4C would probably be your best bet, which will get you power to your dumbwaiters as well.
Oh,
yeah, and that'd probably help the rest of the building too. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Cross.
You also said that you found other things from Jason. Did you find anything else or know where any of the other parts went? Because we heard from that Apollo fellow that you and someone else went there.
And someone else being my sister. They took them. Most of the parts I found were broken beyond repair, and even when I did have smelting tools available, no matter how hot I got, I couldn't smelt them down to anything useful. But regardless, when they took her, they took them too.
That is understandable. Either way, thank you very much for the silver. We will make sure to put this to good use.
You'll get more use than without it, I will.
All right.
If it ain't too much trouble, if you find my sister, can you just let her know I'm okay?
Isn't she a thrall? Sorry, that was insensitive. If we find her, we'll tell her.
He kind of just bows his head and thanks.
All right. Let's go. Couple more rooms to check, and then we're gonna head out. Although by the time couple more rooms to check, and then we'll go spend the night in Jarnik's room, and then we'll head out in the morning. Where is the Baron? I feel like I should know this.
He said, I think they said the Yard, which is that port town where those pirates came from. It's on the western side, I think.
Yes.
It's not, Oh my god, I don't remember the name of the other one.
Okay, so Baron Tobin Hudson is the one in charge of the pirates, who are based on those docks on the far west side of the island. Alzin.
I don't remember where the dock, like, there was Battery Port. It's not Battery Port, is it?
No, Battery
Okay,
Port
so
is
it's
on
another...
the southern tip of the island.
Okay, thank you, sorry. I was trying to remember Battery Port. My brain was just not cooperating.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Battery Port is on
okay.
the southern tip of the island. That is where Relican is from.
Okay. Well, in that case... well, we can head over to the yard and then head over to the west port. And get that dealt with. Although, to be honest, we could just keep going. It's not like Apollo would ever find out.
People like that tend to know.
Aren't all those things south from here? And we have to go back through Apollo's area?
Do we have to go back through Apollo's area? Because we could just go around the labyrinth. It would be a hell of a lot more dangerous, and it would take longer, but we could just go around the labyrinth.
That is true.
People take the labyrinth because it's faster, despite being more dangerous. It's not to say that we have to go into the labyrinth. But I think that's a decision for the morning. We can figure it out from there. That being said, I'm gonna need one of you and to look through the next room because I'm not going in there. It's not happening.
Okay.
She will let them into her father's room, the bedroom. She's gonna tell you where one of her fathers would have stashed items, but you may have to look for the other stuff. And while you guys are doing that, I will be right back.
Hey.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
You guys head into Venolin's father's room. Well, chambers.
Right.
This room is a mess. There are a large series of bloodstains, marks from weapons, and other just marrings all over the place. You have a feeling that there was a drawn out and a very bloody fight in this room. However, outside of the main chamber, the rest of the place looks pretty pristine. Like with Venolin's room, there's a couple of couches that are very nice and sleepable. The bed in the bedroom is a bit bigger than Venolin's, as though it was made for more than one person. And the kitchen's also a bit more spacey. Ral, you check one of the kind of hidey holes, and you manage to find a bundle of arrows.
Woo!
So, add another dozen arrows to your quiver.
Yay! I have 47 arrows.
Nice.
None of which are silver.
No. No. The sun is a deadly laser.
I wonder if I can smelt that silver in my chest, then open it up, and you can just like dip the arrows in the smelted silver.
The arrows would be imbalanced.
Just insane.
One, it would be terribly imbalanced, and two, it might set the arrows on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing we need is an unfortunate schmelching accident.
Ooh.
Unfortunate schmelting.
Fortunate schmelting accident.
Yes, Mr. Bond.
Okay. I guess Cross will take a look around and see if he can find anything.
Jason will be probably checking the quarters where there was like the battle
Mm-hmm.
and check around the mess around there.
You can see several different sets of claw marks consistent with vampire thralls, and several sort of slashing marks that appear to have been from either long swords or daggers. And while there is a lot of blood, very little of it looks human.
It's good.
However, there are no bones, there's no remains, there's nothing to indicate that something definitively died here. Cross, you look around for a bit and you find yourself finding like kind of a cubby room. Like one of those places where you hide something small.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason you find it is because you find it behind a desk. And it seems like just big enough for you to fit in if you kind of like crawled inside.
Okay. I will do so.
It is quite cozy. And you can kind of see like some drawings on the inside. Very like printed. Damn it. You can kind of feel some drawings on the inside. Kind of primitive, kind of like kids' drawings. I did the thing.
Good job.
My L to hold. You know what? Tim, just like get a cloth to wear as a blindfold for the rest of the sessions from now on.
Until we fix the blindness.
I mean, since we were talking about Party City earlier, I think I'm going to go capitalize on the fact that they're going to be selling out of all the Halloween stuff. You okay, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good. Hurt myself earlier.
Ouchies.
Okay. So, feeling around, I feel these drawings and...
You have a feeling that a certain member of the party might have used this place as a hiding spot in their earlier days.
Gee, I wonder who the only female in this party could be.
Yes, and that's a great time to mention this session's sponsor, AK Racing Gaming Chairs. And our special guest, Maddie's chair.
We are not actually sponsored by AK Racing Gaming Chairs.
Anyhow, we're getting off track.
It's pretty early on. So if you wanted to, you could probably spend the rest of the day trying to get back the way you came. Or you could spend the rest of the day here. It's around like noonish right now. You could probably make the trek. However, unless you go through the labyrinth, it is not likely that you will make it to the western yards before dawn, before dusk.
Mm-hmm.
I think the smartest idea would be to just hunker down for the night.
It does seem the most logical path. However, I'm not too sure if Venelin would really want that.
Did I find anything else hidden here in the cubbyhole?
Roll me investigation.
I'd also like to like peek around and look.
22.
2.
That is a nat 20 plus 2. 22.
I just
Did you roll a 2, Spaz?
I rolled a 4,
Oof.
but that is a 2 plus 2.
Cross, you look around for a bit and don't really find anything, and you're about to crawl out of the little crawl space when you feel the floor of the crawl space kind of shift under you. And as you turn around to kind of feel under it, you're pretty sure that the crawl space has a false bottom.
I will try and open up the false bottom.
That you feel around a bit and you eventually find like a little like niche just big enough to stick a finger in.
Mhm.
And you like stick your finger in, hook it up, and the false bottom opens on a hinge to reveal a chest.
I'll gently grab the chest and try and pull it out.
The chest contains a pair of old cloaks, a sort of like chest-worn bandolier of daggers, and a journal.
Okay. I'll bring this out to Venolin.
And what did I find with my 4 investigation? Whole 4.
You found a broken cuckoo clock.
Nice.
I am happy that it is. I am happy that a bird is broken in front of me. That has made my night. Thank you. Fucking birds always making fun of me and shit.
And I take it with the 9 investigation, there's nothing really worth investigating in my little area in the main chambers.
You kind of like analyze the fight and get an approximation of what happened. However, you can't really draw anything definitive from it.
Okay.
Then as you're heading through, Cross kind of like comes out of your father's old workspace. And he seems to kind of be like pointing inside. And as you follow him, you find that he seems to have found a chest hidden in an old crawl space behind your father's desk. And like I said with Cross, it's got 2 old cloaks, which from looking at them appear to be about your father's size. A bandolier of daggers that look like they're meant to be worn kind of like slung around the chest. As well as a journal. The journal seems to be a meticulous account of the various hunts that your father and brother went on. Some entries describe in very excruciating detail the ways in which they injured them, the precise methods with which they killed the vampire. How many thralls there were, what they used to kill the thralls, how they snuck by them. And the last entry seems to depict them coming across two vampires, a man and a woman. That managed to escape.
Was there a description of these vampires?
There is not a super highly meticulous one, only that they referred to each other as husband and wife.
Wellcross, it looks like you found some of my father's things.
I think he left them there so you could find them. Given where I found them.
Maybe. Well, they'll be useful in the very least.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be okay?
I will be.
All right then.
Well, shall we go collect the others then?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
About what time of day is it at this point?
It's just a little bit past noon. It's around 1, 2 p.m. You guys could feasibly leave. However, at this point in time, it's not likely that you'll be able to reach the yards by the time sunfall happens. Which you could always brave that, but
Once we're all back together, Vanillin is going to suggest that they stay for the night. To give the horses time to properly rest and set out in the morning, because then we are for sure going to get to the yards in time.
without a doubt.
Because you never want to be outside of a set of city walls when darkness hits. If you can help it.
And given the stuff we managed to get done today, the party is level 3. Without a doubt, please update your character sheets and all that good stuff.
Wonderful.
Okay, now here comes the big question. What fucking path am I going? Okay, I've got Monster Slayer, Beastmaster, Gloomstalker, Horizon Walker, and just straight up Hunter. Beastmaster makes the most sense, but it doesn't at the same time. Monster Slayer also makes sense because but I don't like it. You know what?
You know what? Before you start monologuing about what you're going to make your ranger. We're going to wrap up, and then you can monologue at us all you want as soon as stream's off. So, of course, we apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the delay in starting tonight. We had a couple issues with the stream, and I didn't get home until just as session was supposed to be starting, so they waited for me. We got the stream up. No problems. We'd like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond, that is D, the letter N, D, Beyond.com, as well as Licky Dice Cafe and Liquor Express. If you're in the Huntsville, Alabama area, you should head on out to those two locations and check them out. It is order in advance on tickets, and you will be playing with our very own Heath, who you can find on the Discord as Captain Sack. Sunday, we don't have a game. We do not have a game yet for Sundays. Or I don't know if we will ever have a game for Sundays, but we don't have a game for Sundays. Monday, we are still waiting patiently for the return of the troublemakers. Troubleshooters, although they are definitely going to be troublemakers. That being said, the Troubleshooters arrives as a brand new show on Monday nights on Monday, November 2nd?
I believe it is 2nd.
It is the 2nd. Monday, November 2nd, we will see our very first episode of the Troubleshooters featuring 2 new players, 2 Dire Bear. I'm excited. Hope you guys are. Tuesday, we'll see another episode of Valley by Night, where you can see vampires in their glory. More vampires, because as if we didn't get enough vampires, more and more and more. Wednesday, we will have another episode of Monster of the Week. We have successfully managed to combine Tallboy and the Guardian's Charge into one being once again. And so, having taken that being off of the table for the creature that's trying to kill us, Lord knows how that's gonna go. Tune in Wednesdays to find out. And Thursday, we will be back with another episode of Descent into Avernus, as they are about to enter a maze, having been told by a dead dryad, give my sisters a reason to remember what it was like when they were alive. Everything is awful. We are revealing a lot of plots and subplots, and they still have to rescue Eltrol and bring it back to the material plane. After that, it'll be our Friday break, and then we'll be back on Saturday, Halloween night, with another episode of The Stolen Cities. So, of course, we always like to remind you guys, wear your mask, wash your hands, be good to one another, and remember, roar for initiative.